Chalaid Remix.
On 23rd October 2013, an armed robbery at M Bank, Subang Jaya ended with the death of an innocent bank officer. Behind this crime were not only the men who pulled the trigger, but also those who planned and assisted his escape, as accused claim. This is the Laode RD case.
Omar called me. He asked to come from Johor and we agreed that I'll provide the transport for the appellant and Omar at 6 p.m, driving them to the jetty for 800 ringgit.
You are inside the bank, you control the situation. I handle the security. Yes, but this can go wrong. That's why the escape is already arranged. You will take him to Johor.
I'll drive him straight to the jetty. A boat is waiting. Once he reaches Indonesia, he disappears.
You promise there is no problem. Everything is planned.
Omar plans the robbery. Umi handled transportation and escape. As accused claims, the plan was complete.
It was a truly horrifying and terrible memory. Back then, I was just doing my duty with deceased. We were putting money at the vault room and suddenly we heard a sound coming from behind us. We looked behind and saw that it was the security. He asked us not to make any sound and to not move. Then, suddenly, a loud sound from the gun, and it is smoking everywhere. Suddenly, the deceased started collapsing on the floor and blood splattered everywhere.
Minutes later, the plan was put into action.
Everyone down. Don't scream. Don't scream. Don't move.
So on that day, we were still doing our work as closing time around, and suddenly we heard a man shouting. And moments later, the gunshot echoed throughout the bank.
I was completely terrified. The moment I realized Norazita had been shot, my whole body started shaking.
One gunshot, one life lost.
accused and Omar seem to flee from the bank.
Pemohon banding adalah teman saya. Dia menyerahkan kepada saya RM28,000 hasil perampokan di dermaga dan meminta saya untuk memberikannya kepada isterinya di Indonesia.
Lapolo was Laode's contact. However, the police arrived and spotted Lapolo. The police arrested him and found notes of RM28,000 money from the robbery that Laode asked Lapolo to give it to Laode's wife in Indonesia. This wasn't an individual crime, it was a conspiracy.
The question is, what legal issue is truly lay behind the case of Laode versus public prosecutor?
The legal issue in this case is whether the act of Laode R.D. Rasulah in discharging the pump gun resulting the death of the deceased can be treated as an accident under Section 80 of the Penal Code.
Section 80 provides that nothing is an offence which is done by accident or misfortune and without any criminal intention or knowledge in the doing of a lawful act in a lawful manner by lawful means and with proper care and caution.
For this defense to succeed, the accused must satisfy all the following conditions, which are: first, the act must be by accident or misfortune. This means the harm caused was unintentional and unexpected, something an ordinary person could not reasonably foresee. It refers to a situation of bad luck or an unforeseen event.
Second condition is absence of criminal knowledge or intention, which is mens rea. For example, the person must not intend to cause harm and must not know the act will likely result in harm.
Lawful act, lawful manner, lawful means, for example, chopping wood, hunting or driving, normally considered lawful. Using a knife to cut vegetables rather than threatening someone to shows a lawful manner, and using the proper tool for the task illustrates lawful means.
For the last condition is proper care and caution. This means acting with the level of care that a reasonable person will observe in the same circumstances. If the act was carried out negligently or rashly, the defense of accident will fail. In conclusion, Section 80 protects individuals from criminal liability when harm occurs purely by accident, as long as the act was lawful, unintentional, and done with proper care and caution. The issue is whether the defense of accident is available to the appellant. The court held that the shooting was not accidental. The evidence showed that the gun was already loaded, the safety level was set to the fire position, and the weapon was aiming at the deceased. CCTV footage examined by the trial judge further confirmed that the shooting was intentional rather than a misfortune or accident.
Accordingly, the court rejected the appellant's claim that the gun accidentally discharged while the deceased had her back turned. This claim was inconsistent with the evidence as the deceased was shot directly in the face. The court found the appellant's testimony to be untrue and an attempt to mislead the court, found no misdirection by the trial court, and therefore upheld the convictions and sentences. The appellant remains convicted on both offences and sentenced to death as decided by the High Court.
Laode R.D. was charged under Section 302 of the Penal Code for murder and the Firearms Increased Penalties Act 1971. He was sentenced to death, later reduced to 38 years imprisonment and 12 strokes of the cane. Those who planned and assisted were also prosecuted under the law.
This case proved that crime is not only committed by the person who pulls the trigger. Those who plan, transport and assist escape are equally responsible There is no perfect crime, only lasting consequences.